Let's talk about the issue regarding cultural preservation and pride and see how best we can use social media to propagate. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, the well being and preservation of our culture.
Tyler the Creator just released a song and that had, Pongozi on it. And everybody's proud about it, but Pongozi is from here. But the moment a famous American rapper does it, we jump on it.
We're going to use it on this side.
Okay, who is this?
Who? Khalees. The Khalees with the milkshake. Her
Yeah,
milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
Hello, and welcome back to the second part of our social media impact on Zed101 podcast. My name is Changamwiko, and I'm with my lovely co host, Tanya Malama Fuchs, who comes from Avenangumbo in Pula province. They don't have cars, they have canoe banana boats. Malama, that's fun.
I don't know. You're on your own track there.
Well, y'all don't have
What's
no
wrong with
cars.
my
Whatever
canoes?
to my banana boats.
Got the sticks.
Yes. How are you?
Yes, I'm good.
How was your weekend?
Spicy.
Who
Was
did you
good.
spy? You spy somebody.
No tequila flowing.
That drink, what is it called?
Which one now?
The Campari one. Now the
Aperol.
the copper one.
The what?
It looks like copper.
The one I was drinking?
Yes.
Aperol.
Aperol.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Let's
It wasn't an Aperol spritz, which is what most people are used to, but it was Aperol with soda water.
Oh, good. It hits the right spots.
Hey, it was too good.
Aye,
Eh,
wonderful.
enjoyment.
Let's find out if Twambo knows that drink.
Do you know that drink? Dumbo hangs around that Chardonnay. What are you talking about?
Is it Aperol Spiriti or what?
Spritz.
Spritz. Number Spritz. Aperol Spritz. How are you, Tom? Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
We are going to dive into the issue regarding social media. We feel it's not exploited in the right way in Zambia. It's either badly done or to some extent just done, isn't it? So why don't we look into the good side of social media? What can we gain positively about social media from a global perspective as Zambia? What can we learn? How are our friends using it and how is it bouncing off positively?
What? Start off with something positive about social media.
Like business, for instance. How can you use social media to improve your business, to be out there and leverage the impact that you'd have, that you'd gain from social media?
I mean, look, for a starter, you would be a foolish company not to be on social media because the evolution of advertising has meant that social media is the new way that you acquire customers. It's how you show customers what you have available, how you make your products, and so on, and the quality of your products. So you have to be on social media. So you back in the day, we didn't even have websites at one point, remember? Right? We just had like what are those things called? The yellow, yes, directories.
The
Eh?
thick one like this.
You
Telephone
just
directory.
look through.
Oh, you got a good remember, you, eh?
A good remember.
Yes.
So we used to have that back in the day. And then the people who had money, remember, would have a photo.
Yeah,
Everyone else had the name of the company and the phone number and the address.
yeah.
Maybe what you did. And then others, if they had money, they had a photo, black and white photos. Remember, because it's all black and white. Yellow pages were yellow. Now, everything's digital based. You can have video, text, animations, everything to promote your product. So if you're not on social media, what are you doing?
You are email marketing,
Digital marketing.
digital marketing, and you are trying to. It's pretty difficult right now because even the people, the conventional, the old school thinkers, can't run away from social media. The challenge they have is they don't know how to use it
They don't know
properly.
how to
They
use
don't know how to use it properly, and then some can't be bothered. For social media accounts that are managed by other people, there's other negative aspects that come out because you're not in control at all. But that will be something we'll discuss later. Twambo, what's your insight on this? You are running a social media based business. Yes.
I think that, like Tanya said, if you're not on it, you don't know what you're doing. And you're also afraid to hire the people that know how to do it. I find a lot of businesses in Zambia try and use social media. They don't have a website, so they use Facebook or Instagram. And I get there's problems where they've asked somebody to open the Facebook thing for them. This person uses their personal phone number or their personal email address. Then this person gets fired. Then they don't have access to that anymore.
Yeah.
So they go and they open. So you have one restaurant with like 6 different pages.
Yes.
You have somebody that wants to come from Rome that wants to find out what's on the menu. But it's the page that Vachansa opened 5 6 years ago, right? There also seems to be a difficulty with people knowing how a website works, like who's going to host it, how much is it going to actually cost, who's going to go in to change things. But there's many young people who know how to do it. And one of the best trends I've seen actually was, I don't know if you saw it on TikTok and Instagram, where you get an old business like a museum or a castle, and then they speak like a young person. Oh, come to our museum because everybody here has riz, et
It's
cetera, et
lit.
cetera. Yes. There was only one company I saw do that here, and it was Kubu Crabs.
Okay.
And it was really funny.
Okay.
And they got a bunch of followers from that because it was like, oh, here's a company that's on trend. And, now we've actually seen an older person that probably founded the company, and you feel like, oh, they're trusting the process and they're going there. But we can't even jump onto the good trends where even just for visibility, like, oh, this company is there. So we have a long way to go. But it's important to reach people that you never thought that you would reach. Because this is your one chance to reach somebody that's in Bali or has thought, I would want to travel to Africa one day. Where do I go?
In a country like Zambia, social media is not very well understood. I'll give you an example of what my people at the office look for, and I mean my office assistant and the driver. They just look for salacious news. They'll look for football news and that stuff that's just trending every day. That funny laughing voice.
I know, it's
Oh,
so annoying.
So annoying. So they will spend money buying data bundles just for that. When you ask them, have you found anything? They'll simply tell you, yeah.
I have to say though, one of the problems is the algorithm gives you what you've been watching. So it's not necessarily that they're searching for it, but once I've watched it once, the next time I open my phone, guess what? Here's another version. And then you start to think, well, that must be all there is. Because how do you know what to search for? How do you know what else you want to watch if you don't really know how to use the platforms?
Okay, let me flip it now. In most strict countries, and I mean strict in a very loose manner because there are some restrictions which they say are not there. How do you think social media should be used for emerging voices?
What do you mean?
For people who can speak properly, but permissions are not there.
Je ne comprends pas.
You don't understand. What I mean is, for the marginalized, okay,
Give an example.
for people who can't go and speak and express themselves properly and get attention. For instance, if you want to have a peaceful protest about something, but the powers that be cannot give you access because they think your cause is not important enough. All right. So, do you have examples of
Are you
how?
referring to Zambia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you remember, I think at some point we had some guys going to post in the bush or somewhere. Yes, yes, yes.
What?
Because you won't go to traditional media and say we want to speak about this.
What do you mean to post in the bush?
I don't remember what that was about, but they went, was it, not in Luala, was it Luala?
I don't know why they
But
went.
finally we found out where they were.
Yes.
But they went and they were streaming from there because they were going to get into trouble if they did.
If they were caught streaming?
Not caught streaming, but just protesting as it was.
Okay, okay.
There was nothing that, yeah.
From the bush.
Which one was this the one about, it was something to do with being gay, was it?
No,
No? Okay.
something else.
Okay.
Even photographers or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah, but yeah, there was a musician or two as well.
Yes.
So what, okay, so there's two things, right? So in Zambia, you have to apply if you want to go and hold a rally or some kind of thing like that, right?
With the police.
Yeah, so once you apply, then you can hold your event and so on. Now, what tends to happen is the political party of the day will issue permits based on if you're going to do good things about them as opposed to oppose them. So they minimize the propaganda, basically. They minimize your exposure if you're in opposition. So that's why PF is always ranting about, hey, we wanted to hold our event and they stopped us. You know, that's why they're always ranting. But there are other events that people, I think there was one, I don't know if it was about being gay. There was one a few,
I think it was a feminist one.
was it
The
feminism?
feminist ones, no, it took place. That one took place.
Yes.
There was even,
Wasn't that one then twisted afterwards?
Yes.
well, they
I
twisted
think
it.
it was
Yes.
supported by the gays or something like that. The gays.
We call them whatever.
So the gay community. So yeah, I think it's just, and again, the salacious bit. That's what people started talking about.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
forgot that it was a feminist march. Suddenly, look, there's all the gays were
That
there
wasn't
or whatever.
important anymore.
So it gets twisted into something else. But what you're saying about needing to go stream somewhere in private, I don't really know. Like, why would you? Again, for permissions.
I think it's an issue of there's freedom of speech, but you're not guaranteed freedom after speech.
Or during.
Yeah, probably even during they'll come to you and say, "Well, what is this nonsense
Yeah,
you're talking about?"
yeah.
There's been a challenge about the Penal Code, the Public Order Act. As in, why don't you just repeal this thing? People can speak as freely as they can. But of course, like you said, as long as the powers that be feel like their position is being challenged, they will come grab you, harass you, and put you in a position that's very uncomfortable. So our friends had a cause to talk about, but they realized that permission was not coming. They also realized they are not doing anything. There's no violation. They are not doing anything bad to cause commotion in the country. But obviously, the people who give permission decided it can't work. So the court windowed the fact that these guys are still going to talk, and they decided we're going to do this thing somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. So my issue was how to use this for the marginalized, how to use it best.
I mean, I think the other thing it's look, you have a tool, and I think I said this on the first episode. You have a tool, use it, but you don't have to use it in a salacious way. I think one of the problems is where you're busy insulting, right? So it's always PF, right? Like, no, don't use that word. Validate your point in terms of what makes someone Ichipuba. What is the thing that they're doing that you don't agree with? Depersonalize it. And in Zambia, we're very, political parties like to directly abuse one another based on ulichipuba, not the policies that you are supposed to be bringing out are
Issue-based-
non-existent.
issue-based
Exactly.
campaigns and arguments.
And the same happens for anyone who wants to use social media for a campaign, a rally, or whatever that they want to put across. The young man that's, like the one Somo's friend that I would like us to have on.
Yeah.
The one who goes at Achan, at
Mlemfwa.
He also sometimes slips into just insulting. But again, because it also means people start to comment and like. So you have this fine line between, is what you're doing helping, or is it just getting you likes? So what is it you're actually doing? Are you standing up for a valid cause, or are you just doing it for likes?
Okay, so now let's talk about the issue regarding cultural preservation and pride, and see how best we can use social media to propagate. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, the well-being and preservation of our culture. I'm going to start with Twambo. Twambo, what do you think about this issue of the millennials and the new people trying to get hold of what's been taught in the past through social media?
I think it's fantastic. You have, a lot of children that are born to Zambians in the diaspora and have no idea about their country. There's things we don't know about our country because we never bothered to go, say, to the National Archives, right? We have access there, but this stuff needs to be digitalized. Tyler, the Creator, just released a song and that had, Pongozi on it. And everybody's proud about it, but Pongozi is from here. None of us have made any Pongozi merch. None of us are using his music in our social media. But the moment a famous American rapper does it, we jump on it.
We're going to use it on the side.
So, there's people like Sana Jinwala. She has, it's called Everyday Lusaka, a gallery right in town, like right off of Cairo Road.
Yeah,
She has
yeah.
people that go there. That's fantastic. She is of Indian descent. She knows who owns the buildings where she's trying to bring people back to town and say, hey, come and see Zambian artistry. There's Sambayonga with Women's Museum, Zambia, where they've digitalized everything. So that's helpful for us and it's helpful for the future because there's many things we don't know. We're only just starting to learn. But I think it's really important to do, and we need to continue digitalizing everything because people will start making up stories about us and we'll have no control over it because we are not taking control of the information that we have and presenting it in a way that is true to who we are.
Uh, Let me correct you there. People will not start making stories about us. People are already making stories about us.
Yes.
They
No,
have
they're
this
there already.
perception of how Africa is in general, how Zambia is in specifically speaking.
So can I touch on that
Yeah,
point?
yes,
So they have a perception. So what we've got happening at the moment is do they know it's Christmas that's come out? And Fuse ODG had been approached to be on the new version. They're celebrating 30 years.
Yep.
And so
It's
he was
30 years,
approached.
not 40. Eh?
30 years, I think
Okay.
it is, of Band-Aid. And Fuse was approached, and basically he's refused to be a part of it because he doesn't believe in the way that the lyrics have been written. It does not pertain to the Africa that is in existence today.
Yes.
And so he said historically, what they were showing was a reflection. He said it was a reflection of embarrassment to him. He didn't want to be associated with being African because these poor people, look at them, poverty stricken. And I think we mentioned this with Tandy's episode, how we were embarrassed before to
Come back home.
to be Zambian, to
Yes.
acknowledge our Zambianness. But now with social media, if we're seeing people at the Devil's Pool, me, I'm also like, I also want to be at Devil's Pool.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
So it has had an impact in that sense, and he's basically said that the impact of Live Aid, Band-Aid, is, although they think they're raising millions, it's costing Africa trillions in terms of the reputation that we're losing as a result of this. So where we need to now push forward is, what are we projecting within our social medias? What culture are we projecting? Even as the people of Zambia, what are we projecting? Are we showing that, actually, you know what, I could quite happily live in Zambia? Or are we still showing people this is not a place to come to?
I mean, that's why the tourism board was pushing this Yamu Loco campaign. We are going to go to Devil's Pool because we saw Kelis at Devil's Pool, but we didn't see Mwamba at Devil's Pool. You know what I mean? Like sometimes content needs to be relatable, where somebody that looks like you, somebody that eats like you, can go and enjoy something like that. Then you feel, oh, I can go as well. Because maybe seeing Kelis is nice, but then you think, ah, she's a celebrity, I can't afford it. But if you can see somebody that's maybe making as much money as you are, they look like you, they speak the language, when they go and enjoy it, then you subconsciously feel this permission that you can also go and do it. And that's why we need to promote our own and tell our story.
Okay, who is this?
Who? Kelis. Kelis with the milkshake? Her
Yeah, no, no.
milkshake brings all the boys to the yard?
to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
I know Run DMC. Huh? Run DMC,
They did
baby.
not come to Devil's Pool, so we can't talk about them.
Varikota. They will sink. No, but I do agree with you. We are having challenges in national pride. And like we spoke about earlier on, how some of our friends don't care as long as their country's idea is out there. We have a problem in acknowledging, and as Professor Lumumba says, you need to tweet, you need to be on social media, post something which you will be happy with 10 minutes later.
100%.
You can't post something now and then you're thinking, oh, I need to retract. Retracting is too late.
It's there for life. It's footprint. It's irremovable by you, small person. It's like, remember when what's his name, the comedian, and he had said some stuff against gay people. The
Kevin
short
Hart.
one.
Kevin Hart.
Yes, Kevin Hart. Remember, and he'd posted his stuff like 10 years ago, and then it resurfaces. And now you have to apologize for what you said 10 years ago. You know, you don't even remember that you said that.
It's weird because he was chosen to present the, what is that, Grammys?
I don't
Oscars?
know. Oscars, maybe? No, I don't know, actually.
Yeah, he was selected to present one of the two. And unfortunately, that story we just talked about surfaced.
That's right.
They are like, this is what he did.
Yeah, yeah.
So we need to
We
be very
can't have
careful.
them.
But are we doing enough?
In what sense?
Are we doing enough in terms of cultural preservation? Are the Sambas enough? Are they doing enough? Are they the only
They're
ones?
doing their best.
They're
And there's
doing
actually there's young people that are starting to, so one of my favorites is Adele Makai. She's got a little campaign that she says romanticize Zambia. She made a reel of Nchwala. It was the first time I had seen Nchwala like that. And she had people writing her from abroad saying, we've never known that these things happen in Zambia, can we come? I mean, even the traditional ceremonies now, how big has it become where, you know, no, donate, mukese, aba media, aba shine. But that's a step, right? Because now they're like, we need to show who we are.
I hear you, but in as much as people like Adele are trying to do that, you have to give them credit actually. The Sambas, the Adeles, and whatnot, they go through a lot to actually get those permissions. Huh?
Yes.
You start asking, why should it be so difficult?
Ask your government.
Why should it be so difficult for me to have a 3-minute clip about something and yet easy for this guy with a handlebar mustache to just walk into State House?
Right.
I think a lot of it has to do with getting the praise for it, getting the kudos for it, right? Who do you think you are that you should make good content about? You, okay, yeah, a Zambian, but me as a minister or me as somebody, yes, I should have thought of that. I should have approved it. So take it down. Not as, oh, she's Zambian, she's proud, let her run
Let's
with it.
support.
Yeah, maybe we can also just, you know, push in a way. So I think we have to allow Zambians to talk about their country in a good way without wanting to take the applause from it. Because everybody has their different perspective. And if we can all show those different perspectives, we'll show how diverse and beautiful the country is. It can't all be bureaucratic and somebody stamps for it. No, chinje nyapa because this one deal no good or this person will be offended or people have different experiences of Zambia. Let's see what they are.
Yeah, and we're trying to do that through trying to promote traditional fashion. All right, I think that the museum has got some elements on what kind of clothes we used to wear a long time ago.
Or even, what's that guy in Kandayatu? He's got this fashion line. Was it Paris Fashion Week where he was just recently?
Again,
Yeah.
because he went to one, I think, a few years back.
No, just
He went
recently.
again.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. But here's the thing now language, promoting our language on social media. We have, I know of a lot of people who don't want to use their local languages when they're out there.
I think you people are now in the dark. No one cares about you people. Like, I think everyone likes, I love to hear the different language being spoken and mixed. You know, some of the editing issues that I have, I'm talking or we're talking, and then it goes into Bemba, and I have to physically translate it because our dear AI can't pick up that this is a different language that's being spoken here. But I love this multiculturalism, I think, is fantastic. And when you dive into another language, it makes somebody think, oh, what are they talking about? What are they saying? And if you can talk your language outside of the world, look, my favorite is one nobody ever talks about. Why do we all say Delulu? Why do we say Delulu?
Who's the rule?
Delulu is that young chap who does those videos, and he's Nigerian. And he started doing the videos making fun. I'm seeing Muzungus in America going, that's why it's so Delulu. Because he's managed to spread that. That's as a result of a Nigerian word being appropriated, you know? And one day we'll see Bemba being appropriated somewhere.
Because already our music is being used.
Right.
What the Pongozi song, he's not singing in English. And also we watch Korean shows. We gladly read the subtitles. So is the content good enough to where you can just ignore?
Don't need to have it.
Right?
Exactly.
It just, let's just be proud and be like, okay, Nigeria movies, guys, you were buying the DVDs off the streets. It was like broken English, but you were just like, you know? So it's our own psyche that comes from being told, no, you can only speak English, you're only educated if it's English. And actually, no.
I remember when my kids went to school, we were specifically taught to not speak to them in what language? English at home, because they'll be taught that at school. Try to make sure that you speak to them in your own language.
Interesting.
Because when you're going to drop them off, you find this Lebanese guy with his kid, he's speaking, the kid answers back, they do their makises and they go, and you're busy now kneeling. Baby, you know I love you. You know what I mean? So if they start telling you, do this your way, that way, don't ever get into our space. And that's what's helping. But right now, it's very difficult. Like my kids want to speak the language, but
I have immense pride that my mom, whether she insisted or not, that I speak Bemba, right? Everyone else, even everyone else is like, oh, I don't. My cousins were like, I don't know what you're saying. And I was like, you're fucking Zambians. What do you mean? You know? And like, I think I can't remember who I was telling that I learned Bemba from the family. I learned Nyanja because I played in the streets.
yeah,
Right? And back then, Nyanja was the prominent local language in Lusaka.
yeah.
You know, and then I did English at school, so it kind of speaks to that. And I love that we're in the UK, me and my sisters and my mum, we're going around, you know, different shops, and we're busy speaking our local language, you know. And it's so nice because we're like msungu, munene for China today. Yeah, I want di. If you buy another sungu, if you so, you know.
Then in the lift, they come and answer.
I've had that.
Wow. I've also had
Yeah.
that.
Like, oh, now when I told them, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. These nuns hit you back in Bemba. Bloody hell. I didn't see that one coming. But yeah, how can we connect this to do a global connection now from social media? People locally, globally creating vibrant online communities. How do we do that properly?
Well, you just do. Just create. You know.
No, you know why I'm asking? Because a lot of stuff that we've spoken about, you find there's something missing from the Zambian side, whereas our friends have done it.
But again, it's also an evolution, right? Social media has evolved in a certain way. We always seem to forget. At that side, a lot of it is taught. This is how you should use this next phase of what we're releasing on social media. This is the best way for you to use reels. This is the best way for you to use photos. The people here don't get that information. They're just like, oh, you have reels. And you're kind of like, oh, what am I supposed to do with that? Right? So it takes a while before they realize, okay, what's the best way for me to use this, best way for me to use that, and so on and so forth. For example, TikTok, it seems to have been the most free, which is why using one freaking hashtag, TikTok Zambia with a flag, is how you find all Zambian things, you know? Whereas I think also like you used to have like Black Twitter, now we have Zambian Twitter as a hashtag. That's how you find your tribe, let's say, you know? Because content can be just lost in is so much freaking content out there. But how does Zambia still find Zambian content? And TikTok, I think, has been the best at directing the right content to your audience, your people. So yeah, my feeds here have hardly any foreign content, whereas in the UK, where would I even find Zambian content? You know, and I see there's a Zambian TikTok girl. I've never seen her while in the UK, but she's producing the content. But I'm seeing it here.
Okay.
You know,
But also the community, it comes with a sense of pride. Like, what are we making that we're proud of that somebody else can jump on? You know, you have South Africa has Amapiano, right? Nigeria has this, Ghana has that, Kenya has this, and they rightfully jump on it and they're proud of it. And we have been putting ourselves down for so long that most of the things we put out are about saying how bad we are or making fun of somebody.
or we're the Me Too movement. Piano. Eh? We don't have our own original stuff.
Yeah.
And someone was saying Malawi listens to Zambian music.
Yes.
Like in other countries, we
Yes.
are popular. We don't
Yes.
even realize that.
Yeah, we don't realize
we're
how
big in
popular we are.
Malawi.
Yeah.
They know us in Uganda. They know us in Namibia.
And that's something to run with, right? It's something to run with. It's something to make reels about with the popular songs. Do something nice. And then if we're more proud to be Zambian, I think we'll make more positive content, and then the community will even be stronger.
And there are nice Zambianisms that also come up. Like when I came, I can't think of any now, but I'm like, oh, this is typically just Zambian. And it's nice to see, like the way that people will. I know, for example, one of the things I find you'll still hear the slangs that we used to use have become the normal, like the young guys, like it's their language when they talk. I'm just like, guys, we made that
my
shit
daughter
up.
thought her group
Eh.
are the ones who invented the word excel.
Oh,
Please,
wow.
come on now. Sit down.
So
God damn it.
my friend comes over and he's like, excel. Ah, Daddy, you can't use that word. I'm like, what are you talking about? Daddy, that's not for you, that's for us. I'm like, you don't even know that it's not even Zambian. We also got it from somewhere.
Exactly.
So yeah, I do understand, but we have those challenges, and it's up to us to push now. I want to see how we can leverage. We can discuss the education component using social media. I think the only time, and I'm not specifically gonna zero in on social media, but the only time I saw positive use of the internet was during COVID in schools. Yes. And then social media, the impact of social media was the calming effect it had. The impact it had was also regarding cooling down people when the situation was considered dire. But I don't know what kind of input you might give in terms of sharing educational stuff relating to social media.
I think once we make other things popular, then people will share different things. For example, one thing we've really lost is the use of we don't know what trees we have, what local fruits we have, how we can use it medicinally. Even during COVID, I don't know if you remember, there was somebody in Silverest that was making all these concoctions that everybody was going to buy, right? And the
Your
question
COVID.
is, yes, and the question is, what tree did she use? Like, what's the bark? I mean, Umoyo has, they sell zumbani, right, which is off of one of the trees, moringa, etc. But I haven't come across somebody that sits there on TikTok and says, this is this kind of tree. You can use this for
Well, to
fever.
be
You
fair,
can use this for
Twambo,
this.
they do have the girls who do this is giving you sexual pleasure.
Okay, not
You
those
must,
people.
it's the
no.
same thing. It's the same
It
thing.
is the same
Machine
thing, but
gun.
okay, we're not talking about that. Yeah.
And that
One
girl
of
is super, she's got loads of followers.
We need to bring her here.
We can, yes, absolutely. She needs to tell us the ingredients.
Okay, other than bring back your lost lover and how you can pleasure him, we need people
So she
that
knows.
She watched it.
we need people that will say, here are these roots that we used to dig up when
Yeah.
somebody has a toothache, you dig this up. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when though that's also educational as opposed to just social studies, let's go and study. Like what can we learn about our culture and environment? Do it on social media. Because for example, you can buy moringa here cheap. I know if you're in Germany or the UK, you are paying
Super
out the
expensive.
wazoo for moringa
Crazy.
that you have growing in your yard, but you don't know that it's moringa.
No.
That's nice. That's very interesting.
Yeah. So that's the education that we need of like, you are here. What trees are in your yard? What can you do with them? Or why is everybody paving their yards? How is that not helping our environment? All of these things.
I'm still stuck on bring back lost lover. Twambo. Yeah, you.
People are bringing back lost lovers.
And
okay?
you. No, the very fact that you guys have talked about it before, for as long as you're not really you're not really making money out of it, the stifling of releasing this information is very, very high. I won't mention her name, but she's a very good writer. She writes local stuff. I still don't understand why she can't have to my audio segments of her books, where you just share it on social media. I mean, we'll pay for it somehow, but she's failed to do that. And when you approach her, she'll tell you that, oh, I'm going to release a new one. Dude, I
A new
approached
what?
this,
A new book?
a new book.
Uh-huh.
I approached this woman 4 years ago. I'm like, these books are no longer in. I'll make it. I'm like, but do the damn book, then do the audio one, and then upload it, and then chop it up. It's very difficult. Our education system is still very difficult. They are failing to, adapt to these social media things, which brings us, guess to what? Our member of parliament.
Oh, eh.
Our member of parliament is very concerned about the fact that we're not monetizing social media in Zambia. Tanya is going to weigh in. I'm sure you know that very well. How I feel there's a lot of misguided sentiment regarding monetization here. A few people understand it. A few people are capitalizing on it. And I just thought that maybe people need to understand that you don't need parliamentary approval for these things to work. You can fire away.
Yeah, I mean, okay, a bit of a backstory is that what's his name? What's the gentleman's name?
Benwa Mpundu.
Yeah, so he put through a motion, and the motion has been approved. And the motion was to allow monetization of social media platforms. So I watched when on his TikTok he first mentioned it, and I did comment on it. But he kind of G'd up everyone. I was like, well, this is important. We need to monetize. We need to be paid for our content. Our youth are producing content. We need to be paid for it. And it's like, yes, you do, but what he wasn't putting across, or what he doesn't seem to understand is, look, do you think if Google wanted YouTube to be monetized, they would have? Do you think TikTok would be monetized? Like, if they could earn money from you poor motherfuckers, do you think they would have monetized? So the concept for me is like, you're even missing the basics of why are we not monetized as a country? Ghana is monetized, makes a shit ton of money apparently. Nigeria obviously is monetized,
Has to be.
but Zambia nothing. And it's because we don't have enough advertisers, one, in the market, right? Now, if you're going to advertise on a platform, let's take YouTube as an example. If you're going to monetize on YouTube, Google has to say, okay, Twombo has now transferred her content from Instagram. She's now doing it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And she's getting loads of followers, which means Twombo's got a lot of tourism type of content. So the primary advertiser for her would be somebody in the tourism sector, the restaurants, entertainment, and so on. But how many companies do we have who can afford to pay Google X amount of money to monetize? I'll give you an example. When I worked at RSPCA, our budget was £4,000 a month to monetize, and that was ages ago. Now think about how much Coca-Cola has to pay to monetize, and that's, let's say, one in the UK. Now in every freaking country that has Coca-Cola, imagine how much money they have to pay. Do you think they're going, this small country here where they already have mass distribution in terms, go to the deepest, darkest corner of Zambia and you'll find a Coca-Cola machine, right? But social media, you won't find them advertising. So the problem isn't that we can't monetize. We don't have enough money to be monetized, right? All we have is mines. Who wants to see a mining advert, for God's sakes? You as a buyer, okay, so Twombo, you're promoting something. Now you're a buyer of that something, right? The big companies like the mines, do you care about the mines? You're not buying anything from the mines. What we need is Siesta by Mint advertising, come on Fridays or whatever.
Yes.
You going, okay, I'm going to go there. Those are not the type of advertisers that we have. It doesn't work like that here. So it's a pointless exercise to say, let's advertise. Zambeef can advertise, but then they've got to do product by product. That could work. Who's the other?
Trade Kings.
Trade Kings, right? But you see, they're advertising on TV. Basically, we would be saying anyone who's a TV advertiser now become an online platform advertiser.
Well,
Do we have enough companies, enough variety?
Also, just the way that you buy as well, right? If you're abroad and you see an ad, you can click on a link, pay with your card. You have a customer within that 2-3 minutes. It's hard to buy anything online here. You put in your FNB thing, it doesn't work. You don't know why it's not working. You try and call customer care, they're not working today. It's so
madam,
hard
come
to
into the
Right.
office. Yeah.
So these advertisers are not going to make any money from it because even just the instant buying doesn't work.
And so it's this false advertising of this minister saying to the youth, be monetized, you'll make lots of money. It doesn't work like that.
And unfortunately, the boy was even asked, so when does the check come?
When do we start getting paid? Yeah.
Yeah,
And he stupidly said, what did he say?
He says it will come, just wait.
Yeah, once it's through, it will come through.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, it won't.
So do you think it's a matter of he's got a flock that follows him and they're pushing for him? Because I remember our friend's friend saying, he was mentioning names, that he
You're
wants
so
to,
cryptic. So I have
Yeah.
to sit here going, who is he talking about
he
now?
was saying things like, no, I want to thank Honorable Binwa Mpundu, Honorable Kangombe, these people have been there. I'm like, are these people given wrong information to peddle the fact that we need to monetize? Because if they've taken it through Parliament, my misunderstanding is that the people who were there to acknowledge, accept, and then push for it had no understanding of what it was, because the explanation they got was simply from these two people and their people backing
Yes,
them.
but as a minister, you should do your own fucking research. Like, come on. You don't just rely on small information. What I want to understand is, okay, so now you've put this motion through. Now what? Right? So whose responsibility is it now to go to each social media platform and say, dear Mr. Google, we would love you to open up your monetization in our country?
No, it won't work like that. It would be a letter. Why aren't you paying our people who are on YouTube?
Well, good luck with that
Think about it.
attitude. But if they're not a registered company in this country, they've got no reason to even say anything.
No, but they've got TV
Basically,
companies.
YouTube is offering you a free service in your country.
They have got Nkashara Neka TV. They make like a 3-minute video, they post it, it's on YouTube. So my thinking is, these guys who've been pushing for this thing to happen will be told, now you write to Google and say, why aren't you paying us?
Yeah, but we're saying the same thing, right? Yeah. The next step, how exactly do they think they're going to achieve monetization?
I have no idea. But I'll tell you this, Coca-Cola's budget was $5 billion.
Who?
Coca-Cola,
Oh, okay.
advertising budget.
In Zambia,
2023,
5
worldwide.
billion worldwide.
Yeah. 2020 was 2.8 billion.
Their advertising budget.
Advertising budget.
And so I would say maybe take a quarter, just to be generous, a quarter of that for social media platforms.
That's a lot of money.
I know.
That's a
I
shit
know.
lot of money.
But TV advertising is very expensive. It's much more expensive.
Yeah, than
So-
social media. But I mean, the way that content creators here can make money is if they're paid by companies to make good content. If Micma wants you to make a video of you walking through there, Micma is the one who's going to pay you, not Google, right? Micma might use that video to put on Instagram, but Micma is the one who will pay you to do it.
And I think before you come in, I think that's the aspect of all this that's been missing from the political side. That
Yeah.
you are going to make money if you do this properly, not us calling Netflix or whoever it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the next level from what Twambo says is the other problem that we have is our content creators. You know, a 25-year-old that's managed to get herself 100,000 followers, does she know her worth in terms of how to advertise? If she was to approach Micma and say, Mr. Micma, I'll come and I'll pose through your shops. You know, I've got 2 million followers, right? How does she know what she charges for her service? How does she charge Micma one price, Zambi for another price, I don't know, Zanako another price? Like, they don't know how to charge themselves. They don't know their worth. And what happens is people like MTN will say, Iwe, nalakupeleka 50 kwacha for 1 day's work, three reels. What happens is they don't have an agreement of saying, okay, I'm going to do 3 reels. I'm going to do a month's worth of work with you, Twambo, and I want to post each month, and I will pay you a total sum of this amount of money based on the feedback that I also get. What are the clicks through that are going to come through to our website? How many? What are we trying to sell specifically? Not just, hi, we're MTN. No. MTN's latest data bundle this month, I don't know, 20 gig for 50 kwacha. That's an offer. It's specific. And that's what Twambo's advertising on this next set of things. They see how many have we sold via the / Twambo link. That's how you see how much money you're making. But here we just go, we're MTN. But we don't even know what you've done. It's done nothing for us. Yeah.
But this comes with also being transparent as content creators. We need to share how much did MTN pay you?
All right.
Right? How much did they pay you? Because they've called me and they said, come and do something. Boy, how much did they pay you? So that I know that I'm not lowballing, right? Or you didn't get ripped off. And then we can even also have like a standard where we're like, we're not going to be paid 2 pin for a real, guys. But everybody's just secretive. Oh yeah, they called me. Somebody made 50 pin, somebody made 3 pin.
A different arrangement with them. I know me, I've been working with them for a long time. So, yeah. But we should be like younger drivers
In what sense?
in terms of what she's saying. Get together, syndicates.
Yapa airports.
Younger drivers are doing that. I mean, it's working for most of them. It's only when they find, jacked up people like you and I, be like, this is nonsense. The app
You have
is
to
saying-
explain what you're talking about.
No, I mean, I'm just referring to
Yeah, but she doesn't know what you're talking about.
the issue of you need to get together to have one uniform price when you are going to approach people for social media advertising promotions. Younger drivers have syndicated. So if the app says 100 kwacha, the guy is not happy with the distance, he would say, can you bump it up
It's
to
not the
150?
distance, it's because he's starting from the airport and they're taking advantage of everybody at the airport. And they're saying, oh, the app says 100, you can pay me 150.
Because you're also not going to walk from the
No,
airport.
you've got no choice. You're a captive market. And then if you say no, you go for the next app. It's all about what's the local thing to you. That's the syndicated bit. They've already discussed amongst themselves. Iwe John, iwe Shan. Ni apa ni 150 wamfwa. Takulu kulanda po fimbi. And then we have no choice but to pay.
But Tanya says you can find love through social media.
You can find what? Love.
You don't know.
Guys,
You don't know.
tell me. Tell me.
In the DMs.
Someone slid into,
Honestly, nobody's ever slid in my DMs.
It's done something.
But let's say back in the day, maybe the earlier days of Facebook, how many relationships were rekindled on Facebook? That guy when I was 14, you even go and search for him. You're pointing at yourself.
Bring back lost love.
You know?
When you get the bring back lost love and then you get the Balthazar concoction.
Oh,
Heaven. Wow. Yeah, so people have found love on social media. And for some it's worked out. I know a friend of mine got married and then
that's where most buddies come from, isn't it? From social media. How else do...
How do you know if she's a baddie if she's not a baddie on social media?
If I'm a bad you. All I know are nuns. Hardcore praying girls.
Whatever.
Praying for you, the sweat. They're like,
Sure.
some more pizza, please.
Tombo, did you ever find a lost love?
I've reconnected with old lovers, yes, but not like
Not to be lovers again.
yes,
but
yes. Yeah, but like
Okay, man.
plenty. Those are a dime a dozen. That you still look good. Yeah?
So where are you these days?
Mwache ni wewe. The guy did like a mwache ni wewe. Watanya vile. You na ewe Joe.
Stop it. Oh my
She
God.
did a stop it, I like it kind of thing.
Stop it, don't stop.
But the negative side of social media, the unrealistic expectations. You see this fine looking woman not knowing that she has maltreated her skin. We have people selling bad stuff on social media, especially here in Lusaka. Other than Filamacharandefia Achani, the one who makes those things.
Win your lover back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bad side of social media. How can we curb it? Because a lot of people are using it for bad.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, there's different ways. So what you're talking about there, for example, is like skin bleaching, right?
Skin bleaching.
It's having access to things that are detrimental. I would put a slightly different spin on that. People who sell cryptocurrency, these idiots who don't know what crypto is, want to buy crypto just because you heard you can double your money, you can triple your money. And that's the issue I have. There's a lot of companies in the UK, Europe. There's the most wanted woman. I don't know if you've seen her. She came up with a cryptocurrency. stole shit tons of money. She's lost. She's disappeared, this woman. They can't find her. So she's on, I think it's the European Most Wanted list or something, for stealing people's money and not paying back, basically, not paying out what she promised. So, and I remember seeing another cryptocurrency company that came out. It looks great. They've got the graphics, they've paid the right people to make the content. This poor woman in South Africa, she's not in a village per se, but she's not, like
She's not affluent.
yeah. She's not like in the town areas. She saw like an advert. I can make that much money. Put her money towards that, and she's already not got a lot of money, let's say, but stupidly it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Invests her money, loses her money. Obviously, these guys are gone with her. To them, these are coins, but these coins add up very nicely. And it's a bit like the betting thing we were talking about a little while ago. People don't realize that if you don't understand what cryptocurrency is, don't play in that sandbox. Please stick to what just go to the market and buy something. Huh?
But I mean, with the skin bleaching, what all social media does is amplify something. Before social media, people were bleaching. You could buy your Lemovate, your Buton, what was the other one? The Diprozo, all this stuff. You could walk by the bus stations and women are selling it. People would buy it. But it's just that now it's even gotten more complex, like how people bleach, because now people don't even look bleached. Those days it was like, remember that joke about the lady on the bus and she's got her hand like this. Then somebody comes at Iwe bakugwirani or something like that. It was her own hand because it was like dark and her face was lighter. Yes. But like now, somebody's just like, man, milky smooth. You would never know that they bleached.
If you find a guy who looks smooth and cool like that, he's not Zambian. Nigerian, Congolese.
Apparently, the Congolese like to bleach, don't they? The men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not so much like, how can we stop? People have been bleaching before there was social media.
No.
The question is
The
how.
bad side of it.
Yeah.
Now, you have guys who can give you a formula.
Yes, but the formula would always come out somehow. Is my point. Like social media just
It's like
amplifies it. Now it's more
hair
people.
Hair straightening started with using lye, which was in the kitchens, right?
Tricks. You remember tricks?
They just used to burn their hair. But now it's like, oh no, we have to buy it from the shop and it has to come in a special box. It starts always in your kitchen or in your bedroom. Those things start there, and then they get popular and then boxed up and then labeled.
And then someone goes on social media and starts saying, yeah, so today's video, I'm going to. So
It's called Get Ready With Me.
I'm using as you can see, this.
Here.
I didn't even pay for this. And you're seeing a transforming from that to an FBI, and you're like, how did this happen? Social media. But there's something that we were also taught. Well, we knew about it, but our friend Donald J. Trump made it more pronounced. Fake news, misinformation. Social media has amplified this. It's very difficult. The beauty about it is there are some sites where you can go to fact check. But unfortunately, a country like ours, and I mean the general disposition of a Zambian, is whatever you get on social media is a gospel truth.
100.
Yeah. So I don't know if there are ways we can curb that.
Again, it's education. You have to be able to educate people. And it does take things like having more conversations like we are to be able to expose things to say that was not true. But we've always had fake news in Zambia. Zambia is a gossip country. You
It's a
spread
rumor-mongering
message.
country.
And you never know what was true or not. Uja, uja, drama. But you've got no idea what actually happened. This is the situation with Donovan Gray, with the recent footage that he released. Have you seen it?
I've seen it.
I remember when he got arrested and everyone was like, I knew it. Nikawalala, uja, nikawalala. Right? Now he's been given the chance to tell his story, and he tells his story from, I'm a businessman. I have gone through all this shit with the government and the government's corrupted processes and how it's impacted his business. So now you don't judge him in the same way, But before, we just spread stories, especially if you don't like someone. It was even a worse story. Huh? I knew it was a thief, that one. Huh?
Yep, I hear you. But also, as we wrap up this topic, the issue of mental health, mental well-being of people being affected by
Sure.
what's coming on social
The
media.
number of times I've needed a detox from social media.
Yeah.
Whew, it is painful.
It is,
You know,
huh?
I don't have a big enough ass like all these girls do. Like, you know, I don't have big enough boobs like all these girls do. Why is nobody in my DMs? You know?
Or I'm a young man and I'm 25 and I should have a Benz by now.
Eh.
And then because there's just no way I can think about doing it, crime is the answer, right?
To be honest, a lot on social media is actually crime, how they get most of this. You'll see like all of these influencers that come up and they're really big and they're flashing private jets, Lamborghinis. And then you start to see the programs get made about them. They've been arrested, they've stolen the money. Even this last, what was his name? The curly hair guy, the one who stole the money.
Yeah.
Anyway, invariably, most of it has been through ill-gotten practices. I'll find his name. I'll find his name. Through ill-gotten practices, you know. And we're busy aspiring to have these lives. They're thieves.
Yep. The influencers.
Yeah.
They.
Have you seen the airplane, the fake airplane that influencers can hire? So there's a fake airplane that you as an influencer can go and hire. It's just
You can't even take off.
it's just a set. And you go in and you put your drink and you're even looking out the
It's a
window
planga.
and yes. And it's a fake set.
And you're like, another location to go to.
Just flying off to Bali. Huh?
Quiso, man.
It's you find it online. Just look for it. It's a fake set.
Jesus Christ.
Or
But
also
remember-
thinking that people go on these holidays and they're having a good time. They land, they take all the footage, and they're out the next day. We ate this, and we did this, and I spent this, and they were there for 48 hours.
Exactly.
But I've seen two ladies who were in the restaurant for 10 minutes. They walked in.
Yes.
Don't even eat properly.
They actually, one of them, I think she dropped her wallet and my coins to upon her. Yeah. So as they spent time taking the things, a waiter came, order. We'll order. Yeah, just wait. Don't worry, we'll call you back. Meanwhile, those iPhones popped out. By the time the other guy was coming, we were already informed by that guy that no, these people never buy anything. Sometimes they'll go and sit at a table which was just.
Oh no.
You know, like our table hasn't been cleared.
Yes, they go sit there.
God. Oh my God.
Guess why? Because they have to post on social media.
They have to be the first to post it as well. I mean, the thirst for likes is real. Like, I had the most likes, I had the most shares, even if it's not monetized. It's such a psychological thing.
I remember when Cargo opened, and I was with somebody, and we were like, "Oh, where should we go?" And I said, "Oh, we can go try Cargo." And it had just opened, and we arrived, and there's all these guys outside, posing. As we went in, we were told, "Oh, do you have an appointment?" And we were like, "Oh no, didn't realize that you needed to book, right?" Kanshi, the influencers outside couldn't go in either because they didn't have appointments,
No.
so they could only film themselves outside. Kambago. So we could only film. They could only film themselves outside.
It's a wrap because
I think so.
our neighbor wants us to bugger off.
She's decided she's gonna sing.
She's chanting actually. She's chanting for a lost lover.
She's gone live on TikTok.
Live, but from Zed101, we'd like to thank Zed101 podcast, Twambo, the lovely Twambo.
Thank you for having me.
Being a wonderful guest. Hi, mommy.
Lovely as always.
Should we have her again?
She can pay us next time.
Money.
Okay.
We have advertised.
You want to monetize your platform.
We want to monetize.
365 has been, advertised.
Promoted.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, but
Oh, we're going to do a link to Lusaka 365.
Wonderful, thanks.
Actually, can we do the t-shirts? The tops?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So we can do a link. So Lusaka 365 does have some shirts that they make, which are really, really fun. So mine has got Avondale on it, and it's got the Lusaka 365. So we'll do a link
Okay,
to buy the
wonderful.
shirts, and we'll put it down the bottom.
Yay.
We'll see how many we can sell. We want to have.
Okay.
But Tom, you can tell audience to click, like, do whatever, you know, that YouTube thing.
Okay, so
In German, not
no,
joking.
no. So you can watch out for that podcast. You can subscribe, first of all. Subscribe so you can, take part and listen to all the wonderful podcasts that are coming. And there will be links down below where you can buy some t-shirts, Team Talk 365. Follow us as well. And yes, thank you for being here.
Peace.